Okay, good morning. But that's still in the works because there's a lot of data fields. When you think about the data fields on your listing, now go, here's Dexter's listing. Now I go to the data fields and St. Augustine's listing, go, they're a little different. And then you're gonna find a way to work with the Real Estate Standards Organization or RESO standards to try and make them adjust ours and adjust theirs so they won't think. Because if we say guest room and they call it guest house, there's different things according to a computer, because computers don't think flexibly like we do. So, but, or if you're trying to search things out on the fringes or where they may be overlap with other English, that's all. I have no idea what time it is.
It is 9:58.
Okay. So I don't know if we're expecting more, or this is our group. We're expecting more because here she goes.
I have to leave at 11:15 because I have an appointment. So just
Okay,
heads up.
I won't take it personally. I'll just cross my arms and stare at you when you walk out the room. So facilitatress, or whatever we call that.
Okay,
Shall we begin?
yeah, I guess.
Give
we-
them a minute or two more. You want to
Yeah.
run down the yellow tree or? I've done that. Usually after a break. I just want to stay on. And then someone stand up and fast go.
All right.
So good morning, everyone. If you haven't heard this voice before, and it does sound familiar, I'm Dana Thomas. I'm the Senior Education and Support Specialist for Real MLS or the Northeast Vulnerable. The title sounds more exciting than it is. It's just because I've been around longer than anybody else. Kimberly's the only one that's been around longer than I have. Came here in 1990 when Boris came here, bringing the blazing speed of 56K dial-up. That was amazing. We finally had pictures on our computers. You would put in one disk, the booth computer, take it out and put in the communications disk, so it would have your modem dial for the MLS system. Boy, have we come along. What we're going to talk about today is customizing. Two things, primarily customizing your views, which is when you get a set of matches, you got all these nice columns of information. Wouldn't it be great if you control what columns you can see? We're going to teach how to do that today. And then once we get done with that, we're going to talk about customizing your search template. Because if you use the residential search template, great. If you want acreage, I got to add a field. If I want this, you can customize and have your own search template to have the things you want already available instead of defaulting to what the MLS thought you might. Everybody kind of excited about that? Apparently you're here. That's a good sign. So where do I start? A little background history on me, just because I'm going to talk about me some. Went to high school, born and raised in Central Florida, in the highlands of Central Florida, as I tell people, the highest point in Peninsula Florida, a small hamlet called Lake Wales. If you've heard of Bach Tower or Singing Tower, that's my hometown. After that, joined the Navy, spent 6 years there, 2 in computer school, 4 on a nuclear powered attack submarine. As I put, we were the hide and seek world champions of the Cold War. But it helped. And then after that, I became a computer technician in the Panhandle of Florida for a group called Pine Computer. And one of their computers I serviced was for a group called Boris, Florida Realty Information Services, which oversaw the computer that provided services for what they now call Emerald Coast, the Panhandle joint MLS. And when Prime Computer folded at the end of the 80s and Bob Gaylor with Boris got the contract for the 90s, I got laid off. They went, come work for me in Jacksonville. And I've been here ever since. To get out your abacus, it's about 33 plus years. So I have a little bit of experience here. And before we get into the MLS, I do want to talk about some things, and I don't have the answer for the thing you're going to ask, but be advised, it is dues time. Dues are coming up in June, like in a couple days. Prepare your budgets, prepare your soul, prepare your spirit, whatever you need to do. Also, make sure your email address in the MLS system is up to date and accurate, because that's still our primary form of communication. A couple of years back, we stopped mailing out paper copies of things. So it's all email or electronic. So you want to make sure your email address is updated for that. Even if you don't get the email, there's actually a link on the home screen. that probably over here, actually slide the whole screen up a little bit, under link says pay dues here. And that'll take you right where you can see what your balance is and all that. Speaking of balances, hopefully none of you have an additional balance from fines. As y'all may have heard or experienced, this year we have taken a little more interest in enforcing the rules and regulations and trying to make sure everyone's working with the most up-to-date and accurate data. Primarily because we are now have more members of our MLS than we have ever had. We are over 11,600 members. When I came here, we had like 3,000. 3,000 members, 8,000 listings. Now we've inverted that, it looks like. And one thing I want to talk about data integrity and errors. We only fine automatically on very few things. One, don't share your password with anybody else. It's not a good idea anyway, but it's an automatic fine. Please don't share access codes, key codes, alarm codes, gate codes, any type of security or access code. Please don't put it anywhere. Not even private remarks. Don't put it anywhere on your listing. If you want to put it in showing software or have people call for it, that's fine, but not on the listing itself. That's an automatic $200 fine. It's not one of these, we're going to call and say you shouldn't have it on there. It's already out there. Now, for those who are saying, what's the big deal about a security code and private rules? How many members do we have? 11,600 members for MLS. And let me rephrase it in a different mindset. If you have to work all day and you have an electrician coming over the house, you put a lockbox on the door, you give them the key. I mean, give them the access to your lockbox so they can get in and out of your house to do whatever they need to do. Are you going to give it to the electrician who needs access, or do you want to give it to every electrician in Jackson? Ooh, yeah, something to think of that 11,600 is a lot more people that need to have access to your customer's property. And that's why it's an automatic fine. It's the safety and security of all of us. I don't need people in that property, even if it's vacant, that don't need to be there, especially they're waiting for me. So if you do get an error from the data integrity group, an email or whatever, and you're not sure, you don't understand it, or you disagree with it, first thing you want to do, pick up the phone and call, talk about it, reply to the email. The worst thing you could do is ignore it, because if it is a valid error and you ignore it, it seems like you're being willfully disobedient. And that's going to get you a little more hot water and probably be able to find that you don't put it back. We don't need the money for the fines. Your dues covers everything. The only thing we do with fine money is, you see that Mercedes out there that I'm driving? That's not fine. Because I'm not driving a Mercedes. All of our fines go to the NEPAR Charitable Trust. But I'd rather you give to charity because you want to, not because you have trouble keeping up with the MLS. So that's my preaching for today. Before we dig in, any questions? I'll live dangerously and open the floor before we get started. Wow, that's great. Okay, so let me get up and start walking. So first thing we're going to talk about is customizing your output, your view. You do a residential search, you get region, area. Oh, hold on, let me find something to hide mine. By the way, coming up sooner than later, MLS areas, if you are a huge state dependent upon them, get ready to do without them. We are going to keep regions for a while, but we are phasing out predefined boundaries that were created by the board, because you can draw whatever search area you want. Why trust someone else's boundaries when you can draw your own? And it's also part of the data share, because St. Augustine people have no idea what area 42 is, or 231 or any other one. So they're going to be drawing on the map. And that's really where we've been headed toward. We've just kind of held on to the past with white knuckles as long as we can. And we're starting to let go.
You're keeping the zip codes though, right?
But yeah, that doesn't belong to a city.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of sort of the same.
That's the post office. That's the postal code.
No, but I think it's almost the same as the area.
There's
a lot of them.
a lot of analogous use to them. I agree. But no, we're not getting rid of those. Just right now, and I heard that yesterday, went, what? What? Yeah, we're getting, shouldn't we get rid of regions because the areas are more defined? No, we're getting rid of, okay, fine. So we're all trying to wean ourselves off the baby bottle, I guess. All right, so where we're gonna start is clicking on menu, type in the word my, M-Y space V-I-E for my views. And you'll find that in the menu. Click on my views if you will, please. And refresh me, I apologize. What's the name again?
Sarah.
Other than facilitator, Sarah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sarah. Sarah has agreed, dangerously living, to follow my lead. So you're gonna see all the things available to you. You're gonna see a ton that are inherited. That basically means, like inherited money, someone else did the work, you get the advantage. And what we're gonna do is take that residential with it highlighted and go down to the bottom. You may have to scroll the screen up a little bit, probably over here, scroll up. With that highlighted, the other up, sorry. All the way down there. Keep going. There it is. And we're gonna click on copy. We're gonna copy that residential. We can't change the system level view. We can't edit anything above us, but we can make our own copy. We need to give it a name. And I'm gonna give you my first big tip of the day. Zero space, whatever you want to call it. Residential custom or res custom, if you want to call it that. Why did I put 0 in front of it? Alphanumeric sort order. And if you put a 0, please get the top. The only thing that sorts in front of that is a space, which is why residential is at the top. If y'all wondered, why is the R at the top? You put a space in front of it. And you couldn't see the space, you didn't know why. All right, so 0 res, and click on save. And then we'll go to that 0 res. And maybe after the numbers, or whatever name we just gave it. Click on it, highlight it, click on edit. Gotta go all the way, oh, she learned something I didn't know.
Right.
I use it like an old timer. Yes,
When I typed in my view, I'm not getting the residential.
you have a list of views available to you?
No,
You don't have any views available?
I'm a new agent, but maybe.
Oh, but everybody should have that.
I'll
You
just
might
follow
need
them.
to make a call and have us double check your settings to make sure you've got all the rights and privileges you're supposed to have.
Okay.
904-281-1400, probably want to talk to tech support first, but you'll probably end up talking, or one of us probably talking membership.
Okay.
If you raise your hand, remember the staticky television thing I told some of you about earlier? I have some ideas, by the way, the rest of you. If I don't see you, if you go and I don't recognize you, it's because I probably don't see it. My world is like a staticky television these days. So don't be afraid to be Arnold Rorschach. Whatever you remember from old classic television. Just let me know you're trying to get my attention. So because we copied residential, we have all the residential fields over here. And if you go down to them, you see MLS number, you got the default, which is address, MLS number, price, and status. And then fields that we kind of have control over: region, area, square feet, bedrooms, full baths, half baths, and listing office. And my first thought is, what do I want to see first? I don't care about the listing office unless I need to make an appointment or talk to somebody. So I probably want to start getting rid of things I don't. Down to the bottom, I'm gonna slide over to the right, hit the red X for listing office and get rid of that. I don't need it right now. That'll give me more room to put other things. Region and area, I'm probably using that or location in my search and I don't need that right away. So let's get a region and area with the red X on each. One thing you might have noticed, if you click on the top one, it disappears and everything slides up. And if you don't move your mouse, you can click again and get rid of the next one. Which means don't go machine gunning on your mouse. Things I've learned the hard way. It may be funny now. Wasn't then. All right, so we've got square feet, beds and baths. So I've got rid of things I don't want to make room for things to do. The other thing I want to do is then think about what would I like to see. In me, if I was a residential licensee, I would probably, the first thing I want to see if I'm searching Jacksonville Beach or Atlantic Beach or wherever, is a subdivision area. I don't know if that's the way you think, but it's the way I think. So I want to add to that. Now we can go over to this list on the left and we can scroll till our eyes go blind trying to read all that stuff, or there's a search box at the top. And if you type in SUBD, you'll find both subdivision and legal name of subdivision. Click each one of them to add them to the bottom on the right. You can do Control minus once. That may make the screen a little more workable. I'm just going to stare really closely at the screen. not that bad, but it can be. All right, so we've added subdivision. Bedrooms, 5 square feet. What else are people interested in? Things that you might want to know right away in a search result.
Lot size.
Parcel size, lot size.
Pool.
You're forgetting out some of them, haven't you?
Also,
Yeah,
HOA or CDD.
okay, so now we have to start thinking about balance. In other words, if I've got too many things at one line list, and I can only see this much of it, I'm gonna spend a lot of time doing this, trying to see it all. So what I'm gonna do is kind of focus on for mine. And you can have a custom view for residential fees, association, CDD, et cetera, and drop down and drop into that view for all of them. So you aren't stuck with one, we can make a view for anything, we can make a view for waterfront properties. So I can worry about whether it's a seawall or just grass up the water, whether there's a dock or a deck. I can worry about fees with association fees, community amenities, things like that. For this one though, my first thought is when I get home, I need somewhere to put my car, so parking might be the one I want. So if I type in parking or garage in the search box, you're gonna get a couple things. You're gonna get all those individual items, but you're gonna get an underlined header. That if I click on that underlined header, will give me whatever selected in that group. So let's do that for parking facilities.
Which one did you want under parking facilities?
Parking facilities,
Oh, just type it in.
the header. And that will show all of them that are selected. So whether it's a circular driveway, garage door opener, whatever is related under that, it'll show number of garage spaces, number of carport spaces, etc. Because right now we're displaying information. We'll talk about searching for it later. And of course, someone mentioned a pool. I definitely want to get out of my car, put on my swim trunks, and jump in the pool. So I want to know if there is one.
So like if she selects parking facilities, then it'll tell us whatever. As opposed to selecting
Whatever's
whatever.
selected in parking facilities, it's going to show.
But I
that
can
to
just
you.
select parking facilities across the board and like I can select the header and in my search results will list whatever it is.
Right. That column will say two-car garage, circular driveway, garage door opener. And if someone just put two-car garage, whatever they've selected from that listing.
So if I choose in this selected view, the number of garage spaces, it allows me when I.
If you do just that one field, then you're displaying just that one field as a column. And if that's all you care about, that may be more efficient, because then you just have a column and a number.
But when I go to use this view after I've saved it, it will give me the opportunity to say, I want three net, it won't.
This is an output display.
Okay.
We'll talk about searching later.
Okay.
So this is for whenever we have matches, how do I want to see it? I'm not worried about what those matches are, that's searching. But right now, whatever my search yields, when I get those matches, I'm choosing how I want to display. And again, you don't have to choose what I'm choosing. These are just my examples. So if you want to display HOA fees, if you want to display parcel size or lot size, obviously in places like Palac and Middleburg, parcel size may be a much bigger deal than it is in Jacksonville Beach or Atlantic Beach. Depends on the buyers and the market you're working with. All right, what are we got subdivision, we got pool. All right, so let's say I'm happy with that set of columns. Then I got a few more things I can do with this. In each selection is underlined text. And here my favorite right away is approximate heated square feet. That's like 18 characters to display a 4-digit number. So we're going to click on the underlined text. And what that will do is let us change the label on that header. Let's make it HTD, SQFT, and get rid of everything else. And if I make the abbreviation so ridiculous that I have no idea what it is, I'm still going to have this text over here in gray to show me what it was. So if I put AHSF, Association of High School Soccer Fundamentalists, you can always see that it's approximately 80 square feet. What I'm doing is just making, this is for my view, so I might as well make it something I can see better. Let's change bedrooms to beds. And I'm not talking mattresses. But full baths and half baths always mess me up because I want to abbreviate those. But if I do FB and HB in football season, I get so confused. It's 4,200 square feet with 3 fullbacks and 2 halfbacks. Wait, no. Full baths, half baths, not fullbacks and halfbacks. So you're gonna customize it that way as well to your needs. So I'll leave full baths and half balloons. Because F bath sounds too much like F bombs and I don't like that idea. Legal name of subdivision, let's do subdiv dash legal. And subdiv for the other one or subdivision for the other. All right, who can tell me what's the difference between subdivision and legal name of subdivision? Anyone want to be called?
Legals was in the tax record, and subdivision is gonna be what people think. St. John's Landing, everyone calls, but it might be St. John's Landing Estates and St. John's Landing.
Right, Eagle Harbor, there's certain places around, you've
Or
got these
Sawgrass.
mega community, Sawgrass is a great example. You've got Sawgrass, which is a collection of multitudes of legal subdivision areas. Oak Ridge, Players Club, Inlet Beach, but they all come under this umbrella community called Sawgrass. And what I've tried to guide people over time is the legal name of subdivision matches what's in the legal description. That's the name legal name. But people might call it Sawgrass. So if I get everyone to do legal name to match the legal, and then for everything in that Sawgrass community, to put subdivision of Sawgrass, then it's a whole lot easier to search anywhere in Sawgrass using subdivision or specifically with legal. Same with Eagle Harbor, there is no legal subdivision called Eagle Harbor. Anyone had fun with St. John 6 Mile Creek? Otherwise known as Heritage Landing?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because they put up all these great signs and a pool house and everything. And nobody changed the legal description of any properties. So everything in Heritage Landing is St. John 6 Mile Creek. It's just life as we know. Humans are involved in the process. Okay, what else do we have to do down to the bottom? Parking, let's change parking, subdiv or subdivision's fine. Scrolling, bringing that up a little more. Let's change that to parking and change the other to pool. So we can adjust the headers. The main things that make more sense to us, maybe we don't like what the MLS does. You are empowered to make these changes. Pretty cool, easier things to do. So I can choose what fields, I can choose how they're labeled, and when we get done with that, what order they display in. Wait, what? So let's take that legal name of subdivision and drag it all the way up to the very top. As far up as it'll let you go. And then put subdiv right below it. Take approximately heated square feet and put it below the 2 bathroom fields. Because I normally think beds, baths, square feet. That's the way my brain is always processed. And every time it's the other way, I have to stop and rethink the way I do things. So I want to make it work for me, not for them. And then parking and pool. So we've chosen what fields. We've chosen how they're going to display. Top to bottom means left to right. And if we want to, we can. So that's the fields. Any question about choosing what fields and how they're displayed? Yes.
I can choose, if I'm looking for just a single story, single family home,
Number of stories.
number of stories.
If you want to display the number of stories. Again, if you're searching for it, in your search will specify that. And then that display would all be one, probably, if you're doing only one story home. But if you want to display it, I think it's number of stories. You can type in the word stories and we'll have numbered down stories if they, or hashtag stories or. So we got what fields in what order. If we were happy and we were done, we can go up to the top and hit save. And at this point, we do a search against search results. We can hit the drop down where it says residential in the upper right and switch it to our view. And we are now gods and goddesses of real estate. And once you get a depth at it, what's going to happen is you're going to pop this up on your screen. It's almost going to walk by behind you. Go, how'd you do that?
Where on the upper right?
When you get to search results,
Okay.
in the search results, and it writes as one residential. You probably don't think about it much. It's just there. You can switch it to 0 custom res or whatever we call it, res custom. And this one's going to be out there because we're putting it out there at the office level. In fact, we'll check on that in just a second. But now that's an available view for all of us to use because we're doing it under the office level of access. But there may be other things I want to do with it. So I want to go back and revisit that. So let's highlight that 0 custom. And slide the screen down so I can edit at the bottom. We took the easy way out. We took the middle tab, which is the fields. Let's go to the first field on the far left. which I think is general, you don't have to salute. Which is the name and the description, which we don't care about as long as we're happy with the name. Do I want to see a photo? Do I like having the thumbnail with it? Sure, if it's residential for vacant land, it might be a no, because I've seen trees before. Inheritable, in this place, make this inheritable, yes. That will make it available to everybody in the office. We've got her in under office admin. Yes, you do, good. And then down the bottom are the more dangerous. They're not really dangerous. You can have it for you default when you pull up your personal inventory, your office inventory, like those. Or whenever you do an MLS number lookup, have it automatically drop into your view. We're gonna take a different approach. We're not gonna have the system do that automatically, because about once a month I get a call, I'm not getting what I expected to see, somebody clicked that. And they forgot that they had changed the default settings, and I am a creature of habit, many of us are. But that's where you can fine tune some of those. The third tab is the sort tab. What we chose on what we can see. Now we can choose how it sorts. By default, residential, I think is, well, right now it's going by column order. If I wanted to sort in a different thing, I want to sort the subdivision name first, or price first, we can control out sorts. We're gonna do that with our second layout, because that one's gonna probably get more excited about that one. But we have control of the sort order if we want to have control. I don't need to make changes there, so we're gonna hit save. Now I'm gonna make it very exciting. How many people do CMAs in the show? How many people hate the fact when you get results, you can't see what you want on the columns of your CMA? Nobody's a hater in here? A few people kind of like frustrated with it. We're gonna take that residential, we're gonna hit copy again. And we'll call it 0 space CMA custom. And save and edit. So highlight and edit. Or show me that you're amazing by double clicking on it. And I didn't realize I could double click on it. So. Okay, if I'm doing a CMA, I probably want to keep beds by square feet. Probably don't need regional area, so let's get rid of those. Let's drag square feet below beds and baths and get rid of listing office. I'm doing a CMA. Next thing I want to know is what date they were sold. So over on the left, we can type in the word sold. And find sold date. Probably want to know what it was sold for. Sold price. If I want to have a side-by-side comparison, I could do price, so I could have asking price and sold price, because the price that's automatically on the far left is what's known as current price. Which means if it's active or if it's anything out of the sold, it's the asking price. When it's sold, it's the sold price. And I'll floating fields grab me and say, well, that this is asking price, that's selling price side by side. If you want to see the asking price, I don't care what they ask for it. I care what they sold for it. So down at the bottom, we should have sold date, sold price. And then there's a field over here. I forget what it's called. Price per square foot. Needed, whatever, active and. Yeah, that one. Add the price per square foot field. Now I have a price per square foot that automatically calculates on the fly. You can't search by it, but it won't display it. And I put it in price per square foot order. Let's see. So that tells me how much it's sold for. It told me when it's sold. What else might I want to know?
I mean, you need to know pool. That could be a huge difference in the CMA.
Okay, let's add pool. I probably also want to know how long it took them to sell that property sometimes, right? 500 days on market. And I think for that, it's under DAYS. Whereas CDOM is under DOM. And if you want to do CDOM, you can. But it gives me a layout for CMA results.
Sometimes original sale price is the price that went under to show the cost they owe the price versus the beginning.
Right, and she's making the point, she can customize it and you can customize it to have the fields you want to have.
Yeah.
I'm not that much. But I'm more showing you how, because I don't live in the real world. I sit inside an office and look at computer screen and act like I live in the real world. Which is a whole different story. And again, same here, you could go in and like days on market, you could shorten the DOM.
If you're going, you can do this also though, if you're in the CMA, because it's got your file, you can do it individually for each one, correct?
Yes, you can.
That's how. I've always
You
done it.
can, in your results, go to view and edit it on the fly.
Just because if I'm looking for, there could be different things that I need for different properties.
And I'll make a point about that, but it's a great point to make. You're not only required to do it here. This is where I teach it because you can do ones back to back to back. And then you're not in a search screen trying to rethink your brain out of the search and do results. But once you're in the results screen, let's go ahead and go to sort. All right, let's go to custom sort. Create a new sort. There we go. First thing I want to sort by status, so type stat and grab status. You're doing splendidly, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll click on status and get it over here. So that's the first thing we're going to sort by. Ascending order is good. Next thing I want to sort by is sold date. I want the most recent sold to the top. So we'll grab sold date and we'll make sold date descending. Because which comparables are your best comparables?
All for ascending or descending for status.
Every,
Doing that like it's active or expired. I've always wondered when we sort by that.
active, pending, sold, expired, I think is what how it defaults on the system.
Is that
With
ascending?
long before expired is used. Alphabetical is ascending.
Okay,
A to Z is ascending, Z to A is
that's
descending.
how they did that. Okay.
Sorry, I never had that question before. Thank you. New experiences for me too. On the outside chance that a couple of them sold on the exact same day, let's put sold prices the next level. And make it descending as well. So now with my active pendings and solds, everything is in high to low order. Except not really. All the actives and pendings don't have any sort on them. Because they don't have the sold date. So it's in the skip. The sold date goes for those. So I want them to be sorted somehow, so we're gonna add price. And when we add price over to the right, we'll make that descending, so they'll be high to low, just because I like high to low. More valuable comps. So now, if I'm doing a CMA search, when I get my results, I'll get these fields in this order. They're probably not half the time of pulling up each listing and writing down the information, the copy it into a spreadsheet. Or whatever, just things to make your life easier. That's the whole point of customizing. You have that capability. Got sort order, let's hit save.
Do you name it?
We did, we called it zero CMA custom.
Okay.
Again, the zero just to make it easy to find. I don't think I'm ever gonna call any of my custom things zebra something, because we wait that.
What shall we name the sort? It says, please.
Oh, the sort wants a name, CMA sort.
Okay.
If that's what I was asking, I apologize. Awesome. And folks, that's customizing your outputs. It's that easy. Any questions? Because then we're gonna talk about making it easier to search for all of you in this. Okay, ask me now. Or call me later.
Once you save.
Yes, thank you.
Once you save it and you get out of MLS and get back in, how do you find it?
Great question. Go to quick search. I want to find my favorite properties to look at because I don't think I'll ever live in. I'll go down to price. And then the first box put in 6,000. What is 6,000?
6 million.
Very good. And let's go ahead and bring up search results, 15 or so of them, maybe. Usually about that much. So we get search results. And y'all already have a customer's output. Okay, let's drop this down. And so here's all the residential and all that, right? We got to our search results. We searched for whatever we're looking for, whether it's one-story houses, swimming pool homes, oceanfront condos, whatever. We get to our search results and now we can drop down. Let's do the zero custom res or res custom first. Wow, you like big fonts. Let's hit the minus on this 15 up here. We'll make that a little less stressful for me to go, wow, that's a big font. So subdivision, subdiv, if we slide it over, we can see the rest of those columns. And I thought I had my fonts ready. Let's also do this. What don't I see? I don't see thumbnails. Anybody know how to get the thumbnails back
Isn't it,
without calling Dana for help?
isn't it the one that?
There are two buttons right here. And over here too. These two buttons. The left one is a one-line view, which is what we're looking at. Click on the right one. Thumbnail view, or no? And there we go. Yeah, that's one thing I teach in the class when I'm teaching the basic layout for search results. These are two powerful and dangerous buttons. Because I show them when we're doing the CMA, they click on that, they get a one line, it's nice and easy to read all the columns in the CMA. And then you'll log out, you log back in tomorrow morning after a night out partying. And where's the thumbnails? The thumbnails are gone. And then Saturday morning, because that was Friday night. And everyone else has thumbnails, but I don't, so it's personal. They're clicking on me. And you yell and scream all weekend and terrible, those terrible people like they that the MLS are for taking over your thumbnails. And then he goes, remember that button I showed you over here? That's how you switch back and forth. Well, the thumbnail view, it's a lot easier to see that detail because look at all these details that are coming up for garage and pool. Just a lot more information for you. Let's take a different approach. Let's take a quick search.
So can you just go back and say you were doing that, hit the edit search, and if you just wanted
Change it.
10 things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where I'm going next.
Okay.
You are anticipating me so well. Let's go status, active pending sold. Control clicking lets you do that, by the way. Someone didn't teach her properly. Who messed that up? Oh. So control clicking allows you to individually select more than one item. So active pending and sold are what you want to have. And that's going to give you like 500,000 matches. Is that enough for my CMA? Right below that is a see all index select date ranges. Below that pops. And let's do see all and select date ranges. And click the checkbox for sold. That defaults at 6 months. That brings us down to about 20,000. And what's a good zip code to do a CMA on? Since y'all live in the real world.
32082.
32082.
Well, we're here in Lanning Beach, we can do 32233.
Okay, what they say. 32233.
All right, I got looks.
And select that one from the list. It's postal code. You'll have to go down to it.
I just happen to have the 16 million.
No, stop at subtype. And do single family. And then go down to postal code. And 32233. And select it. And then hit tab just to make the system like you better. Okay, 18,000. I don't think we selected it. Type in 32233. Select it. Click on the press enter or hit tab. There we go. Let's go down to square feet and do 2,500 to 3,000. Is that reasonable? I don't know about here.
That's the big help.
Okay, then let's make it 1,500 to 2,000. That's okay. We're just trying to find a reasonable amount of matches. What's our count? 40?
40.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's go 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
What did you do, 1,000 to 2,000?
1,500 to 2,000. And I'm winging it because the real world wings it at us. Like, I just want to do a CMA on houses that fit my criteria. I'm gonna have to. All right, how many matches we have up here?
26.
Let's go with 26. Click on that. So I've done a CMA, I've got 26, which is a lot more than I need, but that's all right. It's a good starting point. And in the upper right, we're gonna hit that drop down and choose that 0 CMA custom. All the way right there you go. Splendidly done. And now I can see things. Now this is where I want to go to the one line view. Click on that one line view. And now this is a lot neater. You ready for it getting better? You see this little triangle, this caret, click on that. Ooh.
Okay, what's that?
I like what they did. What was that? Wait, what? Over on the right hand side, they added this a year or two ago, and that's one of my favorite things. See this box up here with the caret, the chevron?
Oh, yeah.
Click on that chevron, that'll bring the top down. Click on the chevron to put the top back up. So if you want more working area, because I don't care about the menu half the time. You can almost, the problem is you lose all your menu options. You got to bring it back to your menu options, but pretty good for a CMA if I want to see more of my matches. So that's where those outputs come into view. If I wanted to change it, because I think you pointed that out, if I say, okay, this is good, but what do I want to change? Let's say I've decided I don't want pool here. I don't know why I wouldn't, but I don't want pool here. So instead of going back to my views, while I'm in here, right to the left of that selection is the word view. That will open up that editor so you can make changes on the fly. Well, no, you're not. You're staying there. Go down and drop the pool column. And once you've removed pool, click on save. And now pool's gone. So you can, and the great thing about doing that is you can do it on the fly and see the results right.
Oh, so there, there. On the right.
There's no pool.
Okay, we're gonna drop that pool column. Let's go back to view. Find pool and hot tub, slide down that list when it gets down there. And find pool and hot tub feature and hit the X to get rid of it.
Save.
And save.
But it'll
Thank you.
stay in your regular CMA search.
You have saved the changes.
Oh.
You're still in your search. Here's my search.
No, I know, but if my
But we
original,
have saved that change, yes.
Okay.
So it won't be back the way it was. You've
Okay.
changed it.
okay,
I use the word permanently because
okay, that's understandable.
you've updated that.
Okay.
And so when you come back to it 3 weeks from now, 3 hours from now, it's gonna be a new version that you created. Which means if you want to modify it and have 2 different versions, go back to view. I don't know if I can do, I know I can do it on the view screen. I don't know if I can do it here. You could go to general and change the name. I don't know if that changes it or makes a new copy, to be honest with you though. Would that be the way I'd probably try to put a 1 on the end of it? There we go, save.
CMA.
And now, let's hit that drop down and see if there's both versions. Or if we just replaced it.
It's like a replace.
Yeah, replaced, okay. Sorry, you can go to my views and copy to make a new version of the original.
It's not that hard to add. I'm curious.
Not really. Any questions? Hope you are finding this easy to understand and follow and comprehend. I just hate to think you're all going,
Yeah, I just think in this class, like every single time you offer it. So that I can continue to.
I've been doing it for 22 years and I'm learning.
mother,
It's been 5 years. I just enjoy the class and I get
since the instructor.
something new out of it. So.
And that's part of my mindset for teaching. I've been in every classroom designed by mankind, I think. From public school to private school, Catholic school, military classrooms, hands-on training, you name it. The classes I remember details from. It was when there was a raving lunatic for an instructor. Because the instructor made it memorable. The most difficult piece of equipment I had to learn was an analog to digital, analog to analog converter. Which everyone, it's the most difficult thing to learn. This was like, this is gonna be easy. Watch this. And they do stupid things in the past. I'm like, I remember that because he did this. And it was the easiest piece to learn. So I try and make my classes a little bit of an experience. Yes.
not to jump ahead, but just curious if this falls under the umbrella of this class you teach, the way that our customers are viewing and solds and expires and how they're getting those and how we can change the way our customers see what we send them, and then also how we can see what's been sent.
The bad news, good news when it comes to customer views. The bad news is they're canned views and you really can't modify them. And because they're canned views, we're able to give them a lot more capability. Photos, videos and all that, because it's gotta be in a frame to be that's consistent. So you don't have the ability to do this for customers. That being said, and I'm gonna call myself a liar, but really you can. But honestly, you don't want to.
Well, like when they see the solds expired, all the stuff that, once it's not active anymore, how to remove those, they're just seeing active listings. Is that what
Okay, so you're talking about the news feed versus the search results, probably.
correct? Is this
In their portal. If you want to disable the news feed, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it per person. By going into contact management to that customer's portal and go to additional options, which you bring up the customization for portal.
okay,
And you can say exclude all those things.
okay,
In my class, when I teach contacts, which is where I teach you how to do the amenities view, the pool, subdivision view, and the CMA class, I did the CMA view, so I teach a view in each. But for customers, where was I going? I just lost my track. Sorry, bring me back.
It's under the subscription part.
Right, or under portal preferences, you can impact it for all.
okay,
And when I go into portal preferences, I talk about the news feed. Because the news feed is basically anything they've seen for the history they've been in that portal. No matter what the status is now, if they've seen it, they can see what it is now. If my search is giving them all actives, they'll go to the search, they'll see the actives that meet their criteria. They go to the news feed, they're gonna see all the listings they've seen, which some are now expired, some are now sold, but they're different statuses. And what I've always helped, and this is not throwing shade at any of you, it's throwing shade at customers. Too many customers look in the news feed and get all upset that you didn't send them just active listings.
that's what my point is.
And so I go in the portal preferences, I just disable my news feed,
Okay.
turn them all off. And then the customers, all they can see, the search. If they want solds in their search results, I'll make it part of their search results. Because you can send customers active pending and sold, depending on the customer, what they want, or whether they want to see, well, let's see what things are selling for too. Okay, you can, you have a comment.
Yeah, one question. So the portal, the links that they get emailed to the portal, that's what expires in 30 days, but the news feed that stays active, or does that expire as well?
The news feed is a function of the portal, and the portal, as long as you've got it active, they're able to see the news feed as long as you have it enabled. The links that go with the emails
Those expire.
are good for 30 days, but that's not linked to that email.
Okay.
Um,
So if they wanted to look at a property that was 45 days ago, they go to the link, they can't go there, but if they go into their news feed, it's gonna be
if
something.
they go into the portal or the news feed, and the newer portals, they can actually do their own searches too.
Okay.
Which is why you don't want to go to the other option I said, where if you want to give customers your customized columns, you can go to the classic. But you take away all the features of Portland.
No, I'd rather have them.
You basically give them your search results screen. And at this point, in this society, as mobile as we are, and as sophisticated as customers are becoming, except for all people like me, you don't want to take away features.
Yeah, because they'll go to whatever agent gives them more stuff.
Having, right, yeah. So, search results, we see how we can get them, we see how we can modify them, I go, I don't like this, I want this column over here, I can just go to view and change the order of my columns. That's how. All right, more questions? Let's talk about search. And let's do it the easy way, let's go to quick search. Are these for me?
Yes.
I only have a drinking problem when I stop. My dentist hates me for that, but I'm not fighting that. Speaking of drinking problem. Right, so you go to quick search. Typically, we're gonna do residential. If we want to search any other template, we're gonna click on pick a search template. So we can search rentals, we can search vacant land, we can search commercial, we can search residential income. We can see all the templates available, a multi-category template. And if there's any other templates we've created. So this is how I can get to them. We're gonna stay with residential, so that's fine. And when we do a residential search right now in our search template, we got the ability to choose data share options. We've got status, we've got subtype, we've got price. All these fun things, city, county, state, province, postal code, region, area. Wow, yeah. Maybe I don't need all this. Maybe I don't want all this ones. So. Let's take it. Let's say, for the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of area. Let's get a region and area. So out to the far right is a light gray X. When you're in a region and area, we're gonna get rid of those. State, I don't need to search state. Let's get rid of state. County I'm keeping because some people want to be in St. Johns County schools or some people want to be in other counties. Postal code, good, subdivision, good. Veterans, full bass, half bass, slide that down so we can see more of them, please. Thank you. Unit number, okay, if it's condos, great. Waterfront, yes or no. Mobile manufactured. No, I'm getting rid of mobile manufactured. I'm covering that one, my selection up top anyway. So that's a redundant. I looked up redundant in the dictionary. Said see redundant. Smart people do. Style, okay, style's cool. Structure's good. Why would we use structure in most cases as real estate professionals? What's that?
Right.
Right, well, yeah, maybe. I mean, if we're worried about hurricanes, we worry about structure, concrete block versus what the rain may be. But the most common reason most of us gonna have it, if you have an ADA compliant house, wheelchair accessible, etc. The doorways are wide and they have ramps, etc. That all falls under structure. If you're ever looking for it, that's the place to look for. The ADA compliant properties. All right, so let's say I would like to add to this. This may be popular in Palaca, by the way. We're gonna go down to add a field. Type in the word acre. And-
I was literally having a brain fart. I forgot how to spell acre.
AKUR, acre. And we're gonna hit approximate parcel size. Which on the left, as soon as we hit it, is gonna add all those options. Me. I'm gonna throw one up for fun. Over here, let's type dining. This is more for a specific customer, but I want to touch on the base of it, and this is a better way to do it. I have a customer looking for a house and they want to have a separate formal dining room. It's not a house without a formal dining room. These open floor plan things, I don't like those. I want a formal separate dining room. I can sit down with my family like they do on Blue Bloods on TV and I'll sit around the table. Okay. So I can either in my search. Don't click on anything, please. I can click on dining to get all those options. But this person wants one option. If I were to click on dining, it's going to give me the options and I have to select what I want. If I choose one option like separate dining room, click on separate dining room, it adds it and selects it. Because I chose one and I want that one. Don't know if you realize that, but that does make it easier a little bit. I really don't want that one, so we're gonna hit the X out to the right of it and get rid of it. So we added acres, we want to add, what else might you want to have on your search template?
Garage.
Parking, okay, let's add parking facilities. And do the whole group. Cool. It is almost
People
June.
want Masters on the bottom floor and specifically. I mean, are you doing this as a general or like?
I'm just kind of doing general. But we can get into specifics later when we're doing real searching. But what I'm doing is setting up a search template. So I'm going to have the things I search the most available without having to add them every single time. The whole point of this is to make it easy to save time. And all of our time is valuable. No matter what you're doing or who you are, your time is of value to you and possibly those that care about you or dependent upon you. So you add the things you want to have readily available in your template. Whatever those are, we've added a couple things now. But next time I search, when I'm done with this customer, I got to do it again for the next customer. I don't want to do it again every single time. I want the same things in my template every time. So there's a button over here called save. We're gonna hit save. And you're used to saving a search, but now there's another one. Hit the X on here. There we go. You can save the quick search template. You can save this format, this layout for your search template. Really? Let's call it zero space res example. And you ready? Oh, now you went too quick. Okay, let's go back to save. Search template. Now we got to find the existing one. Zero res. Oh, that's the template. No, that's the existing.
Replace existing.
Replace existing. There we go. Find my example. Stop there. Don't get click happy on it. Down at the bottom, if we scroll, actually do a control minus. Yeah, we kind of got ahead of ourselves, but that's okay. We'll show you another way to do it. Template name as example. That's fine. Hit save. I'll have to show you the other way. Give her a side eye. Okay. But so you can save that template now. Let's click on the Real MLS logo back to the home screen. So you can see we're kind of resetting our brains, go to quick search. It defaults to residential, but hit choose template and find that zero as example template. And select it. Did I mess up? There you go. And now if you scroll down, you'll see the fields and things we chose. Yep, parcel size, garage, etc. Oh, yeah. Notice these aren't expanded. By default, we don't have them expanded because if they were, that would be humongous list sometimes. In your general preferences, you can have it expand all these by default. It's a double-edged sword. But if I want to see parcel size, I can just click on parcel size and it'll expand out so I can see all the fields. So that's how easy it is to give yourself custom templates. Now I have a custom template for oceans and others. I mean, custom template for riverfront pool hunt. I have a custom template for whatever I'm searching for without having to modify every time. If there's certain categories, I do the same searches again and again. If you template it, then you're gonna have the fields you want again and again. Simulation. Ready to go? Excited? They're just effervescent, aren't they? But that's all right. I'm good with that. What if I want to get rid of, you know, where you saw where the views were, right? We went to my views. If you want to get rid of any of those views, let's go review that though. Let's go to menu, type in the word view. And go to my views. So here's back on the view template working screen. If I decide I don't need that template anymore, this is where I can go down and highlight the template and hit remove down below it and get rid of an old template. So that's easy. Let's click on, sorry, view, that's easier word. Let's click on menu, type in the word quick. And I believe there's a thing called my quick search templates or just quick search templates. Here's where the quick search templates are. Let's go to the one we just created and do that magic thing you did. Good. So template name, good. We're going to scroll down because it's going to talk about property types. So, and when you create a template, you can say this template is searching these property types. We copied a res, so it stayed res. Further down there, there's a place to choose what view. Let's take the whole thing down. Is associated with that template. So I can make a template for searching waterfront homes with docks, boats, docks, pool houses, and boat houses and the like, and set up a custom view and relate that custom view to that search. So when I get done with that search, it drops into that custom view. Wow, one less click. That was one thing. How many of you remember full search? Okay, don't tell me that.
Full search.
We all remember full search.
Okay.
What's that?
It's pretty good, same thing, you just have to click the things you want.
It's just, right, it's changed. And the real story about full search was when we got Flex MLS in 2002. It was just a quick search. Full search was never part of Flex. Never was intended to be. And the members of the time had such a negative response to having to change the way they searched. That we begged and pleaded and paid for a lot of custom programming to make Flex MLS look like the old MLS. That's how we ended up with a full search. The downside is that was done with the programming of the day of the year 2002. Let's flash forward 20 years or even 15 years. And the rest of the system of Flex got updated because it wasn't custom programming. So it stayed with the latest code and gave us map capability and gave us draw on the map search capability. It expanded our capability because the whole system base, but the full search was a custom program. And it was written in old code and it got to a point where it just didn't make sense to keep it around. That's why full search. It wasn't that we hated anybody. Because some of us liked it too. But and people said, why get rid of it? And I'm like, who likes like a 57 Chevy? Who thinks it'd be an awesome car to have? Right? It's cool, it's fancy, it runs. But what's the problem with owning a classic car today?
Thanks.
When it breaks down in maintenance, one, you gotta find the parts. Or even worse, you gotta find people who know how to work on it. And the programmers who programmed that code in 2002 don't know how to program it that anymore because they haven't touched it that long. That's what happened. Because I kind of miss it too, but it is. All right, so we talked about templates, so we can even go in and modify our template to have a certain view associated with it, which is why I did the view first. And then, of course, hit save. Pick a view, I don't care. Any view, pick a card.
I'm having a hard time finding save.
It's down at the bottom right.
It's next.
Oh, next, sorry.
Okay,
My problem is all the buttons are interchangeable, next, view, save, open, whatever. I'm like, the button that does it.
now
Because
save.
I don't really read the screen anymore. I know where most everything is and I don't read what's written. I just click on the button because I know that's the button to go forward. And then we're back to our list of templates. And of course, if you want to get rid of a template, highlight the template, remove, and you're good to go. So, folks, that's what I came here for. Any questions about what I've talked to today? If not, I'll probably let y'all pick on me for another little while.
I have a question. So residential income,
Yes,
will that show the potential of rental that an investor can get on a property if they get it, like kind of?
there are some fields that show what potential income can be.
Or like the rent.
But they are agent provided, so, and I don't think they're required.
If they don't fill it out, you're not gonna get it.
Right. And being as the market changes dynamically, I don't know how many agents are comfortable with putting in a number that may change month to month.
Yeah.
Because we've seen some crazy things going on with rent
Mhm.
in just this year. All right. Any questions about what I've covered so far? Okay, time to live dangerously. Any questions about anything you would like to ask me about before I run out the door and don't answer? Okay, she got her hand up first. I'll get you two in a second. Go ahead.
What we find a lot is setting a big search for a buyer. So when you want to send them the difference of, it's gonna hit immediately. Like every time, could you click a little bit on showing them how to set up a search for a new buyer?
Save searches, gotcha. Save searches and more importantly, subscriptions. Let's go to quick search.
Because that seems to be a difference.
Let's go active, good. Let's go subtype, single family. I'm gonna go back to my favorite listings, go down to price, do 6,000. I always say that to mess people up. Wait, what's 6,000 thousand? 15, right? About that? 14. Hey, we lost one. We had one. Right? Someone sold one. Go agent. All right, so we get search results. Let's say this is what I want. This is what my customer wants. I don't care what it looks like. If it's $6 million or above, I'm interested. Okay, great. So we're gonna save. We're gonna save that search. So it remembers the search criteria that found these matches. It's not saving the matches. It's saving what was used to find the matches. Which means tomorrow, if there's new ones or some disappear, that matches is gonna change, but it's gonna use the same criteria again and again. The search name, we're gonna call it example 6 million. So that way you can clean it up there. Description has no relevance to anything other than you trying to remember what it's about. These people want a house in Fleming Island, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They want a separate dining room. They want a large backyard with a view of the coastal, whatever that is. To my knowledge, in the old classic view, customers could see what you put there. In the new view, I don't think they can, but let me make a gentle point here. This is not the place to put, if these people think they can find a house in Fleming Island, just in case they can see it. As you're all learning, there are things you don't put in writing. So same thing, slide down a little further, please. There we go. And then, of course, are they a new contact or existing contact? I'm gonna go with a new contact and we'll call it Dana. And email address should be below that. Type it Dana at, please don't use this, mailinator, MAILINATOR, mailinator.com.
Mail what?
Mail, MAILINATOR. Make it Dana, make it Dana, what's today? 2023-05-21? Is it the 23rd already?
Yes.
Yes.
I lost my watch. Okay, make it 23rd. Good. Do I want a portal account for this customer? That's a personal preference thing. My personal opinion, and only because I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of customers in the past have open portals and they go, okay. And they would only look at emails anyway. So my default has been to not give them a portal unless they give me a reason to give them a portal. If they look at your results and start flagging that I like or don't like them, it will initiate the portal anyway. So they can create it indirectly. So I don't initialize it on the spot because it just gives them and me one more complexity in that relationship. All depends upon the savvy of your customer. More and more people are very computer internet savvy, so I probably would default these days to turning it on. I'm just saving time and effort today. But if it's old people like me, just give me emails. I'm old people now. Just ask my daughters. Scroll up some more. The other way, sorry. Okay, so. Good deal. So portal, and we can do additional search options. That gets into a whole bunch of stuff, but basically what triggers it for the concept of new? Wait, different concept than automatic email, the concept of new. So your subscription, which we haven't got to yet, that's over here, don't click. That's gonna take us to subscription. So we're not talking about subscription, we're not talking about auto email, we're just defining the concept of new. So here's a way to make my example. When a listing gets added to the MLS system, right now it went live right at this moment. How long is it till, let's say you no longer consider it a new listing? How long does it have to be before you don't think it's good anymore? There's no wrong answer. A couple days, define it specifically. 2 days, 5 days, 3 days, wrong answer. How about you?
24 hours.
24 hours, okay, different people have different opinions. You?
Maybe.
Immediately.
Immediately, okay. Anyone have a different answer?
Once I've seen it.
Once you've seen it, okay, but the MLS system can't quite work on the concept of definition of new, once you've seen it. So we have to define a time frame. But the point is, different people have different definitions of new. It also depends upon their circumstances. If I just got the job in Jacksonville and I can move my family and me and get moved in within 2 weeks. And be settled in a new job in 1 week. New for me is a lot shorter period. If I'm in a house I like, but I'm looking for the dream house for the rest of my life. And it doesn't matter how long, it matters that it's gotta hit every checkbox of the 10 boxes. If it's 9 of them, I'm still gonna wait, I'm gonna be patient for the dream house. New for that person is a much longer time period. They're waiting for a specific perfect property. So everyone's gonna have definition. For this particular customer we're searching for today, we want to kind of get their sense of new. What would you define as new? When do you consider it no longer new? Yeah, 4 days, 3 days, whatever. Okay, then we'll put that in. It only shows up in our contact screen where we do update counts. There's a place for total match and new within the last, whatever that time period. How many are new for their time frame? Not necessarily new to them, but just new for their time frame. That's what that's about. You can associate a custom view with that. So you can have the view you want whenever this search comes up. See, that custom view can be really helpful some places. Let's go ahead and click on save and add subscription. So it's going to save the search to the customer or complain that I did something wrong.
Invalid email.
Okay. Melanator.com. Sorry, I didn't. We were too busy spelling it to .com, but let's try now. Save and add subscription. Oh, okay, hold on. We didn't add subscription units, okay. This is cool, though. This is a real world example. Humans are involved here too. Let's go to dismiss. Okay, fine. Click on save searches. So if I forget to add a subscription, and I save the search without a subscription, which means no automatic emails are going to nobody. I can come to my save searches, find my save search that we just did with example. There we go. Click on the 3 dots. And subscriptions, click on subscriptions. So we have the search, but we want to, for that search. What did we do? Add a new subscription. Good deal. It wants a subscription to have a name. If we did it the other way to do it, just call it example 6 million subscription. Yeah, I forgot to give you the important instruction about being in classroom typing for me. Please don't type ahead, but that's okay. Like that, or whatever it is.
No results found.
All right, let's try it again. Add a new subscription. Save search. Oh, that's a save search. Okay, choose the search. And where are you going? Okay, click on OK. I haven't come at it this way before. I'm used to doing it right off save search out of subscription, but
Sorry,
we
I
all,
failed you.
no worries. You showed me that there are ways to overcome humanity. And folks, humans being involved in the process is why I have job security. I don't mind, I really don't. So to have the name of the subscription, I will give the subscription name. It will automatically name it if you do it off the save search add subscription. So do I want to send notification of new listings to me? Do I want a copy of what's going to go to the customer? The question might be yes. But what if I have 20 customers with 20 subscriptions? Do I still want yes? Maybe not. So, because there's another thing that's gonna cover that, so I don't want to get a notification, but I do want the selected contact, which would be down below, we'll add the contact selected in a second. And then I can have it send me a notification when the contact looks at it. If I check both of those, I'll get twice for every time they look at it, so. And then enable preview mode. Does anyone know what preview mode is all about? Has anyone experienced preview mode? Click on enable preview mode. Best way to do it is to actually read what it describes preview mode as. And the simple point is preview mode basically gives you one more responsibility of saying the system's going to go, here they are, you want to make sure they're okay before I send them out. In other words, you are now the bottleneck to your subscription. If you don't approve it to go out, it doesn't go to the customer. which means you probably don't hardly ever want to use preview mode. If your search meets the needs, then you don't need preview mode. Because it's gonna give them what they ask for. Some of you going, okay, but when would I use preview mode?
If somebody wanted specific, they didn't want a tool, they didn't want a,
Well, I can search for that. Let me give you a better one. I do not want a house with a red door.
or faces east or west.
I am looking for an $8 million property and I fired the last agent because they made me look at a listing with a red door. So make sure I don't see any listings with red doors. Well, the system can't filter for that. But you can look at the pictures and see if there's a red door that shows up. Red door, you can filter that out and the rest. Would it be worth it to you for a $6 million listing?
Yes.
Maybe so. Well, I want a $50,000 house and I want a red door. Maybe that don't work. May not only do it for $50,000 house, kind of depends on your choice too, but there are things the system can't filter, that's when you might use preview. If they use the word "the" more than 3 times in the description. Again, if it's $8 million property, maybe worth it. Did you have a comment or additional?
Yeah, whenever you click on single family, a lot of times a ton of townhomes are included in that. So is there a way to filter that?
The question is, and this is one of those, we have to have more info answers. If you chose single family and a townhome shows up, is that townhome indicated as a single family? In other words, does it say single family because the agent selected single family, but it's really a townhome? In your search results about here is a button that says report error. In other words, MLS, can you look into this? Because I'm not sure this is right. That's what report error is about. No, you are not ratting people out. You are helping everybody get it correct. Please don't be afraid to help each other get it right. So if someone's misrepresenting the property, then by all means, click on report error. We can say, no, that's a townhome. Please change to the townhome. That's what I'm presuming is going on, because you said if you select single family, then it shouldn't be showing you anything that's labeled townhome, but it may be a townhome labeled incorrectly. And we'll be glad to send them a data integrity notice to say, please correct this.
It also happens a lot with duplexes, you search duplexes.
And if they don't correct it within 24 hours, we're supposed to then administer a fine. But we get another. And then we'll administer a fine if you don't respond to get it corrected. The goal is to get it corrected. We don't need the money. We seriously don't need the money. The fines are not for that, but for motivation. Think about it. If I say stop, well, I'm going to say stop again. And who's had kids understands that doesn't work. If there's stop or there will be consequences that hurt, then you're more likely to behave. That's why we have fines. Was there a comment or question?
It happens a lot with the ocean view and ocean front.
Right, if it's fronted on the ocean,
It's
again, if you
frustrating.
find it, and I would love to say that your staff is gonna take time to look at every single listing track, which we do our best. But we're more just dealing with all the things that come up. So if you find something that needs help, or guidance, or re-education, or you think it's mislabeled, click on report error.
I think it's mislabeled because I was looking at property ocean front.
Right, which means fronted
Yeah,
on the ocean.
but there was a lot of ocean view, like a block or 2 blocks, I think, but it's still ocean view.
Help each other out.
Front because
Yeah, and I know that's longer for you, but y'all are out there every day dealing with and looking at the listings. We just can't see them. There's 4 support people locally. Oh, yeah, that's a good thing to bring up too. For those who've been around a while, have you noticed you're talking to people who don't seem local anymore when you call for help? We set up a deal a couple of years back, about a year or so ago, with a group called Market, MARKT, where we are sharing support resources with other MLSs. Other MLSs that have a similar mindset about this support and service, similar sizes, actually not necessarily similar sizes, but have the same MLSs. Because if I go to Space Coast, I can teach Flex MLS all day. Because Flex MLS is Flex MLS, it's Flex MLS. If you drive a Chevy Monte Carlo in Florida, it's the same as driving a Chevy Monte Carlo in California, except the scenery is different. Flex MLS is the same everywhere. The only difference is tax records of local regions, areas. In Arizona, they don't have a lot of ocean property yet. So, yeah, so what we do is we share level 1 support. In other words, people who know Flex with Milwaukee, which is Metro Milwaukee and Arizona region. So if you call and don't get a voice, you recognize the one like that, it's probably one of those 50 people available to you. Because imagine if things go astray. And there's only 4 people to answer the phone calls, and one's out here, and one's in a class there, and now you have 2 people to take phone calls. It's real easy for the staff to get overrun. And if it's calls about, where do I click to do a CMA? Then those are things that level 1's can handle, and they want handle, and they're learning our procedures as they go and getting pretty good at that. If it's beyond their skill level of help, they will escalate you to a level 2. I'm now considered a level 2. For local things, rules, regulations, tax records, they don't know our tax records in Arizona, they don't, they have a system called monsoon. Don't know why they call it monsoon, but that's all another story too. So, and I hate to say, just ask for the local reps, but most of the time you probably don't need them, but if you get to something that's more locally specific, or you can just call and say, hey, I have a question about rules and regulations, who can I speak to about that? And they'll escalate you to me, Melissa, Jeremy, or Alan. And that way you'll get the local people who know the local answers. But that just gives us more resources to be available to you, to get you the help you need when you need it for the basics, especially. Talk about errors, calling, answering errors. So we talked about subscriptions. Oh, we need to go further down. Let's go all the way down to here. Good. This is where you were asking before we got way sidetracked. Frequency of that subscription. For years, weekly with every day of the week was once a day was awesome. The problem with once a day going to your customer is they can go on some of these websites and have the website send them updates as soon as the website detects them. Which means they may get emails from the website before they get emails from you. It might not be my advantage because if they get it from the website, it might be my competitors. So for this one, and what we start telling people is for your subscription, send it to ASAP. Because that means our system is going to send it long before it goes through the process of getting out to the websites, getting updated and getting to them. And they'll always get that first notification from you in your ID. ASAP, which means as soon as it detects that there's a matchup, send an email. And that's going to get it in front of their eyes before everybody else does. Hopefully that answered or addressed your concern. And the rest of it's just hitting save or next or whatever the button is at the bottom.
Could you remind me what the portal is?
Portal.
Like if you give somebody, I have some people that are on a portal and I see their activity, but I don't even know exactly what to look for.
What is a portal? And the first analogy I get is we have this giant ship full of MLS data. And the agents get to roam around the ship because we have system level access. We have member level access. The general public is not allowed to have member level access. So you set up a stateroom with a portal for them to look in to see all the matches that are delivered to their stateroom. They don't get to be in the stateroom, but they get to look in the stateroom. They can see their matches. That's what a portal basically is. When I set them up with a portal, they'll have a place where they'll go, which is usually on myflexless.com/ and your login ID. And then they'll log in with their email address and the password they'll generate when the first time they go into the portal. If they forget that password, you can reset the portal and they create a new one and create a new password to go in with. Once they get in the portal, there's a general screen or a main screen or whatever it's called, which is about you, the agent. It also has a place where you can message them through the portal if they want to message through the portal instead of texting or emailing. Just one more tool. The next one over is search. That allows them to do their own searches in our MLS system. Now they have a much more simplified and basic search capability than you do. You can do a lot more detail, but they can say, hey, I want to check oceanfront condos. I want to check riverfront houses. I want to look for 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this price range. They can do a lot of the very basics of it. And they can go in and mark ones they like. And then that'll show up in the ones that they favorited or like in their book. The next one over is saved. Saved is where they're gonna be able to see the search that you have saved for them, or the searches you have saved for them. I have one customer in one of the examples in my contacts class was I have a family looking for a house in Fleming Island, but he just got a raise and now they're also looking for a condo at the beach. They haven't given up on Fleming Island, they have 2 different searches. So they can see both of those search results live, whatever's currently matching. And mark what they like or don't like in it. The other thing in saved is they can see what they have marked as favorites. They can see what they've hidden as things I don't like, they hit the not symbol. Things you've hidden for them, if they told you they didn't like it, you can mark it as a not symbol and hide it from them as well. They don't have to look at it anymore. And there's one more option called recommended, which you have the ability to flag it as the recommended property for them to see. Their price range was right at $500,000, and everything you showed them checked off 9 of the 10 boxes on their dream list. And you found the dream house. It was $501,000. What does that make a difference in their mortgage? Nothing, but it was outside and you found it. You can flag it as they recommended for them to see and they can look at it. They'll see it under the recommended. Because if not, you have to change your search parameters. That's what the portal does. It gives them a live access into the database for their matches and the ability to do their own searches. And that's what goes away if you put it back in the classic portal, which I do not recommend. Sufficient?
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions? Comments?
Is there a class on hot sheet?
Hot sheets are incorporated into the intro class. Because it's just a basic function of what's going on in the MLS. Let's do a quick look at it though. Click on menu, type in hot. Or click on hot sheet if it's up there. Go to hot sheet. Hot sheet basically comes up in 2 flavors. The standard hot sheet runs 24 hours, has basic criteria. Or you can go down and go to custom hot sheet settings, where you can be a lot more specific about what's in your hot sheet. And you can tie it to a search and all that. And basically, it's just gonna show you what's new, what's at a price change, what's back on market within the parameters you set. In your general preferences, you can have it email you that hot sheet on a daily basis. Whether it's the regular 24-hour hot sheet or the custom hot sheet, send you the matches to that in your email instead of you going into it. I'm simplifying it because the concepts are, the rest of it is just setting up your parameters. With custom hot sheet settings, you can actually tie it to a saved search. So if you want to be really specific about your hot sheet, you set up a search and then type the hot sheet. Is that hopefully helpful? Great.
I have a question, since you said region and area is going away, is
Yeah.
that gonna go away on hot sheet too? And if so, what is that gonna look like?
Area is going to go away, region is going to stay for now. So you just won't see it as an option. Then it'll probably be. And we'll probably have more classes on saving polygons. So you can draw your own polygons. You ready for my worst stroke of the day? What's the best time to do a polygon search? After polygons. Not really that. But I will. Question over here.
Just, so a lot of you people are newer and I'm not, so I'm just helping. So on the hot sheets, they do stay on there for 3 days. Like, so if you're an agent and looks at your hot sheet on Monday morning, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
It goes 1 business day is the real answer to that. So over the weekend, it's gonna carry through to Monday. So anything Saturday, Sunday carries into the Monday hot sheet. Because it's the next business day. The Friday morning time should be Thursday, Monday morning time should be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because it's the next business day. It goes back on the previous business day. But thank you. Not trying to be,
no, I know that, I know the people
it's
in there.
not always 3 days, it's just back on the previous business. day.
Well, yeah,
And it doesn't think about Thanksgiving, it doesn't think that hard.
but if you're listing something on a Friday, it's gonna show up on the hot sheet, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right,
Which is to an advantage of your listing to be to those people that regularly look at their hot sheet. Or the people that don't work on the weekend, that look at them on Monday, are still gonna see what came up on Friday.
Because on Saturday, the previous business day is Friday, on Sunday, previous business day is Friday. Monday, previous business day, it's a great advantage, that's a good point, thank you. If y'all have any more questions for me. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy days, I know you all have a lot going on, especially in this place. We appreciate you having me out. Don't know how many times I'll be out in the field too much longer. I will be happy to come to the webinars because as my eyes progress, driving is a little more stressful. I can still see things well enough or I wouldn't be here right now. But at some point, I'm gonna get the phone like, and the worst and most dangerous thing for me, rain. Because now the paint is part of the static, it's just all static all over. Luckily, it's Florida, 20 minutes is fine. Any last questions? Again, my name is Dana Thomas. I'm with MLS. Don't be afraid to call for help. We appreciate you all. We'll look forward to having you around for a while and best of luck with everything you do. Thank you so much. The chip bucket's $5.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank